It started with a blurry image on Google Maps, a faint pale outline beneath the greenish water of a quiet Florida pond. To most, it looked like nothing more than a shadow, a trick of light, a glitch in the algorithm. But to one man sitting at his computer late at night, that image did not look like a shadow at all. It looked like a car. What he did not know was that this discovery, this moment of digital curiosity, would reopen a cold case that had haunted a family for over a decade. It would reveal how technology quietly remembers what humans forget, and how a satellite image could become the key to a real-life mystery. The story begins on the night of November 7th, 2006. William Moult was 40 years old, a mortgage broker from Palm Beach County, Florida. He was quiet, methodical, and reliable, not the kind of man to vanish without reason. Friends said he was steady, polite, and rarely drank alcohol. That night, he attended a business event at a nightclub in Wellington. He chatted with colleagues, had a few drinks, and left around 11 p.m. Before driving off, he sent his girlfriend a short text message. "On my way home." That was the last anyone ever heard from him. When William did not arrive home the next morning, his girlfriend called his phone repeatedly. It went straight to voicemail. By noon, she reported him missing. Police launched a search immediately. Helicopters scanned highways and canals. Officers checked nearby construction zones and retention ponds. Divers explored several small lakes, but the water in many of them was deep and murky. There were no signs of an accident, no tire marks, no broken guardrails. Days turned into weeks, and the case grew colder by the day. No one had seen William, and his white satin sedan seemed to have vanished completely. Detectives initially believed it was a car accident. Florida's roads at night can be dangerous, especially around construction areas with few lights. But as months passed and no evidence surfaced, theories began to scatter. Some speculated that William might have been abducted. Others whispered about foul play. His girlfriend insisted he was not the type to disappear voluntarily. His phone, bank accounts, and credit cards all stopped the night he vanished. One investigator later said, "We had too many possibilities and not enough facts. It was like chasing a ghost through water." By 2008, the case was officially labeled cold. The file was boxed and shelved in the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. Time moved on, and the world around the last place William was seen changed entirely. By 2010, new homes and manicured lawns filled the area where the search once took place. Roads that were dirt paths in 2006 became paved neighborhoods. Retention ponds have been landscaped and bordered by sidewalks. William's family moved away, unable to live with the reminders. His mother, then in her 80s, never stopped hoping for closure. Every birthday, she lit a candle beside his photograph. She told her neighbors, "One day, I'll know what happened." For law enforcement, the disappearance faded into the background. It was one of hundreds of missing person cases in Florida's vast wetlands. But time, as it turned out, had not buried the truth. It had only hidden it beneath the surface. Fast forward to August 2019. A man named Barry Fay was browsing his neighborhood on Google Earth. He lived in a new housing development near Wellington, one that had not existed when William disappeared. As Barry zoomed in on the aerial view of his neighborhood, something odd caught his eye in a nearby pond. Beneath the murky green water was a pale, rectangular shape. It looked like the roof of a car. At first, he assumed it was a satellite image error or debris, but the more he looked, the clearer it became. The object had the exact shape and proportions of a vehicle. Barry took a screenshot and sent it to a neighbor who happened to be a retired police officer. The officer immediately contacted local authorities. Within hours, a patrol car and a tow truck arrived at Moonbay Circle. Deputies used sonar equipment to confirm there was indeed a car submerged in the pond. The outline was faint but unmistakable. The next morning, police divers entered the pond. The water was thick with algae and silt, and visibility was nearly zero. They felt their way through the mud until their hands touched something cold and solid. It was the roof of a vehicle, overturned and covered in grime. When the car was pulled out, mud poured from the windows like liquid memory. The crowd that had gathered watched in silence. An officer wiped the license plate clean and read the number aloud. It matched the record of a missing person, William Moult. Inside the vehicle, divers found skeletal remains still strapped into the driver's seat. The seatbelt was fastened, and the keys were still in the ignition. After 13 years, the search had come to an end. Forensic experts examined the car and remains. Dental records confirmed the identity. The man in the pond was indeed William Moult. Investigators concluded that he had likely driven straight into the water the night he disappeared. The area had been under development at the time, with no streetlights, guardrails, or reflective markers. It was possible he mistook the edge of the pond for an open road. In 2006, police had searched nearby bodies of water, but that specific pond was newly created and deeper than expected. The vehicle had sunk quickly and become invisible beneath the dark water. The tragedy was simple and devastating. William had never made a home because his car had been sitting just beneath the surface all along. What shocked the world was not just a discovery, but how it was made. The car had been visible on Google Earth and Google Maps since at least 2007. In several images, the white outline of the vehicle could clearly be seen under the water. For over a decade, millions of people had access to those same images. Anyone could have stumbled upon it at any time, yet no one noticed. The truth was there, quietly waiting in plain sight, captured by a satellite and stored in pixels. Technology had witnessed the crime long before humans had. When police informed William's family, they were both heartbroken and relieved. His elderly mother wept upon hearing the news. She told reporters, "Now I can stop wondering where he is. He can rest, and so can I." Neighbors organized a candlelight vigil beside the pond. The reflection of hundreds of flickering candles shimmered across the water that had kept it secret for so long. Residents who had driven past that pond for years stood in disbelief, realizing that the answer to a missing person mystery had been right before their eyes. The story made national headlines and spread rapidly on social media. News outlets from across the world picked it up. It was no longer just a story about a missing man. It was about how technology had become humanity's silent witness. Police departments around the country began reviewing cold cases using aerial images, satellite data, and digital archives. Investigators started applying artificial intelligence to scan for vehicles or unusual shapes in water bodies across the nation. Williams' case became a landmark example of how digital tools could uncover hidden truths, and how ordinary citizens could stumble upon them by chance.